Mr. Fabian, my fellow distinguished panelists, and a wonderful, very patient, and a very distinguished audience. Democracy derailed the way forward for India 75. This book is very important. I was a couple of days ago, 2-3 days ago, I was in Colombo. So I had time to read it. And I realized how much I had forgotten. For me, whether I was a member of the National Commission for Women or for 3 years and Planning Commission for 10 years, I did not make any difference between Muslims, Christians, Hindus. Wherever there was need, I went. There was no difference. With my cotton sari, I was everywhere. And what Venu referred to, he's just left for another meeting. The reason I was attacked in Guwahati was that I was a Muslim and I was a woman. So that combination was irresistible. I don't want to say anything more about it. You have read some things and you may remember something. But for me, this book brought back so much. In 1998, I had gone to Dangs, where the Christians were attacked. And I had forgotten it. I had gone there, and the younger generation would not even know it. BJP was in power. Christian schools were seen as instruments for empowering tribals. So they were attacked. 1999, I went to Kevanjhar, where Graham Staines and his 2 small children were burned to death. And Justice, I think, Sata Sivam said, teach a lesson to Staines for converting poor tribals to Christianity. I wrote reports. My reports were very, very personal, very factual. I experienced it. I went to Kandhamal in 2008, and there is no place, this is quote unquote Praveen Togadia, there is no place for Christians. If Christians don't become Hindus, they have to go. We don't care where they go, they must leave Odisha. Quote unquote. That this was the case of monk Lakshmananandan having been murdered, who knows by who. But there was, so for me, I identified with Christians, with Hindus, with Muslims, and now I feel very much, like I'm a Muslim and a Muslim woman. Of course, I'm a believing and practicing Muslim, but equally, I have been taught from my very childhood Christianity, the ethos and the principles of Christianity. I have learned it, I've been to convents. So this is my entire thinking. Mr. Fabian, in his very short but very succinct preface, writes of the time when he was ambassador, when Pakistan and Bangladesh, various conferments, various consultations. Now, do we think of South Asia? I was 3 days ago in Sri Lanka. Of course, I met Sri Lankans, but I also met Bangladesh. I also met Pakistan. There was a time when South Asia came together. So this is really, in a sense, it is a great deprivation for us. There is another point that I want to make as far as this book is concerned. And I think it's the first chapter. Healthy competition between ruling and opposition is the real strength of democracy. Maybe the professor can explain this, but for me, healthy competition between ruling and opposition is the real strength of democracy. And it goes on to say, however, manipulative and oppressive practices coupled with misuse of government institutions and power to suppress democratic voice by communally biased dispensation has crippled every institution and democratic space in the country. Exploitation of lack of unity among opposition makes it more hopeless. There is a lack of unity among the opposition, and that makes it more hopeless. So, we are looking for hope. Way forward, we are looking for hope. At this time, I'm talking of Muslims because all of you, your heart aches, and I see John Dayal in front of me, a person who for 40 years we have worked together. Your heart aches for the Muslims if they carry placards of "I love Muhammad." I love Prophet Muhammad. What is the problem in saying that? 1,324 Muslims were accused. 38 were arrested in Baghpat, Bareilly, Kaisarganj, Badai, everywhere in many districts in UP. And Kashipur was a special example. What are the conclusions and the takeaways? I think of a member of parliament, Imran Pratapgarhi, and he said, and that was Gujarat police filed an FIR against him. He said, "Eh khoon ke pyaso baat suno." Oh, bloodthirsty people, listen to me. For that reason, an FIR was filed against him. The tactics and manipulations of communal forces striving to occupy complete ruling space is complicit, and complicit in this is the ruling corporates. Assam is one place where the corporates are encroaching on the natural resources. Zubeen Garg, the great singer, the great pop star who died at the age 52. In Dibrugarh, there was all the mullahs and maulanas were lined up to pray for him. This is the real spirit, but that spirit is being hacked. I just want to quote two passages from this book. And the one passage is from the chapter, Abuse of Power Leads to Disaster. We are told that Hindu radicals wish to declare India as a theocratic state. This is a chapter called A Call for Caution, Abuse of Power Leads to Disaster. We are told that Hindutva radicals wish to declare India as a theocratic state where Christians and Muslims would be considered foreigners, internal threats, traitors. It is a regressive ideology that seeks to assert a hegemonic culture and impose homogeneity over minorities, and India's infinitely diverse cultures. Of late, these radical groups have gained ironclad control of the country with the support of blind adherence to majoritarian ideology, with the danger that India becomes the world's largest fascist country. All of South Asia is going through a great turmoil. Perhaps not that much Sri Lanka, but yes, Pakistan, yes, Bangladesh, yes, Nepal. They are going through, and we are not moving like in Mr. Fabian's time. We were moving as a region, but the charge was, I simply said that Bangladeshis are also human beings. God created this earth for human beings. If they come, let them go with dignity. So obviously, this is the rational and the reasonable way of dealing with a situation like that. So when my fellow speakers, talked about a way forward, a hope. As a Muslim and as a woman, I'm feeling the depression is overcoming me. It was never like that before, but for the last 3 or 4 years, it's been overcoming me. For this country, for Christians, for Muslims, for minorities, the depression is overcoming me. But I still believe there is one poet, and I want to end with this line from the poet which you all know, and it's Faiz Ahmad Faiz, who's now like an international icon. And he says, Dil na umeed to nahi, naakaam hi to hai. The heart is not hopeless. It has not been able to achieve much. Dil na umeed to nahi, naakaam hi to hai. Lambi hai gham ki shaam, magar shaam hi to hai. There is a warning. So that's basically the hope that I live with. Thank you so much for having me.